The Indian Penal Code, the Code of Criminal Procedure and the Evidence Act are replaced by 3 new statutes.
कई सारी दफाएं जो अंग्रेजों के समय से विवाद में रही, इसको हटाकर आज के समय के अनुकूल धाराएं जोड़ी गई है.
There is substantial change in the substantive part of the law itself, and some of them are important and crucial.
प्रावधान ऐसे किए गए हैं जिससे कई समूहों को फायदा होगा.
Whilst the 3 new laws usher in an era of new reform, the last word has not been said yet.
और एक तुगलकी फरमान आज से पूरे देश में जारी हो रहा है.
These 3 legislations are a great step to shed the remnants of the colonial past, but one must also focus on the issues that plague the Indian judicial system. Three new statutes in criminal jurisprudence have come into effect, and sweeping changes are to usher in a new era. The Indian Penal Code, the Code of Criminal Procedure and the Evidence Act are replaced by 3 new statutes. The 3 statutes so far have been basic statutes that define offences, procedures and the methodology for trial, the probative value of evidence, etc. Whilst the first 2 predominantly are on criminal prosecutions, the last legislation, the Evidence Act, applies to civil matters as well. The 3 new laws are called the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, replacing the Indian Penal Code, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, replacing the Code of Criminal Procedure, and the Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam, replacing the Indian Evidence Act. The government argues that the aim of the 3 new legislations is to shed the colonial baggage. The numbering of the various sections of how we have known them to exist all these years have changed. It's not just the indexing of the sections in the 3 laws that have changed, but there is substantial change in the substantive part of the law itself, and some of them are important and crucial. Let's look at the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or BNS for short. The BNS replaces the IPC, or the Indian Penal Code. BNS reflects the changing societal norms by deleting certain offences such as sedition, adultery, unnatural sex, etc., and introduces a new category of offences against minors and also creates new ones such as mob lynching. A welcome reform under BNS is the incorporation of community service as a form of punishment. So far, under the Indian Penal Code, only 5 categories of punishment existed. There were fines, death penalty, imprisonment for life, simple or rigorous imprisonment for a shorter period, and forfeiture of property. The inclusion of community service is a welcome change and is in tune with the suggestions contained in various Law Commission reports. Whilst the welcome move of community service being treated as a way of penalty has come in, unfortunately, the abolition of death penalty was not considered during the entire legislative exercise. Now the question is, what happens to existing cases, trials and proceedings that are pending before courts? When a new law comes into force, how would the transition really happen? BNS will not affect the operation of IPC for any act or omission done prior to the new law coming into force. Further, BNS also protects the rights, privileges, obligations or liabilities that have been acquired or that have been incurred under the IPC prior to the new law coming into force. The repeal of the IPC shall also not affect any proceedings, investigation or remedy in respect of a penalty or punishment for an offence that has already occurred prior to the new law coming into force. Further, BNS provides that any proceedings, investigation or remedy in respect of such penalty or punishment as aforesaid may be instituted, continued or enforced, and such penalty may be imposed as if the Indian Penal Code had not been repealed. In essence, any offence committed prior to 1/7/2024 would continue to be triable under the Indian Penal Code. The accused is not devoid of any remedies which were available to him or her in case he or she is ultimately convicted under the Indian Penal Code regime. Additionally, if punishments have already been suffered under the IPC regime, the new law may not have any impact on such cases at all. However, offenders who are yet to be sentenced to punishment under the IPC regime might get a benefit of reduced punishments if the new law so provides for identical offences.